up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and I'm back with another video for you guys. And for today's video, by the title, you already know that I am doing another episode review of the Promised Neverland, and this is on episode number 8. I'm also going to say beforehand that I usually try and do a synopsis of what the episode that just aired was pretty much about, so I apologize if there are any spoilers for those of you guys who have not yet seen episode 8, but you guys have been warned, so if you proceed forward, you will find out some things that have happened that you may not want to know about just yet. But pretty much, let's get started. So, as far as the synopsis of pretty much what happened in episode 8, just a brief few points that I thought were pretty important was you have Sister Taree, whom, if you remember from episode 7, was actually going to help out the 5 kids, such as Norman, Ray, Emma, Dawn, and Glinda, to help them to possibly escape. But Sister Taree ends up dying. Also, we are introduced to a new character whose name is purely Grandma, and you have Ray, who is then fired from his duties by Isabella. You also have Isabella ends up finding Norman and Emma as they're trying to inspect the wall, and you have Isabella hurting Emma so as like kind of to get them to stay, or just to show them kind of like how like powerful she pretty much is. And last but not least, you have Norman's shipment date has been set, and it seems like it's possibly going to be for the next day. Now, overall, what I really liked about this episode is that I like the sequence of the flowers blooming. So when Sister Taree is dying, she is stabbed by a bouquet of flowers. And then you see that during the bouquet of flowers, they're blooming and they start to turn red. And they're turning red with Sister Taree's blood. And I just thought that sequence was pretty interesting with how it, not really just how it happened and how it kind of turned out, because I had never seen that kind of a sequence of a death kind of happen before. And it kind of makes me wonder if these flowers like really has something to do with everybody's death, and if there's more meaning to these bouquet of flowers. I could possibly be wrong and be reading a little bit more into it, but I just thought that sequence overall was like pretty interesting and pretty of an amazing way to show her death. Also, I enjoyed seeing Isabella finally at least show her true personality, and it really made me see just how much of a pure, like, evil villain she actually is, because of how cunning she is, how smart she is, and the way that she was pretty much able to put on an act or an air of being this loving mother, but then in reality she really has like an undertone of being purely evil, because she basically serves like higher ups for them to like get these kids. I also really enjoyed the whole like pacing of this episode, since it moved the show along very smoothly, and definitely compared to the previous one, it definitely had a lot more action. So that's what I really enjoyed about it. I enjoyed the fact that you got to see, like, it made you really want to watch it, and it just gave your heart a little bit of a rush per se. And that's one of the things that I enjoyed about this episode in particular, although I kind of wonder if the pacing is going too fast compared to the manga. Once again, I have not read the manga, so I don't know what the pacing is like compared to that. I feel like I saw one comment before that one person had said that the pacing was a little bit faster compared to the manga, which, if it is, I'm really not surprised about, considering when you have something going from like one form of entertainment to another, there can be things that are kind of lost because they want to make sure to basically take out the parts that they feel don't actually need to be needed. Now, even though there was parts of the show that I actually liked, there were some parts that I did not like. So during the part where Sister Taree is like, I want to say fighting for her life because the monsters or the demons kind of come out and she knows she's about to be killed, there are a series of flashbacks that kind of shows how Sister Taree came to be, and like how she became like wanting to be a mother herself. And I definitely feel like it could have been done differently. So it kind of flashed back between sequences of the flashback to her fighting for her life, to the kids as they are eating dinner because they're wondering where she is. And I really feel like it could have been done just a lot differently. I feel like it would have been better if they would have shown her death, and as she's dying, like have her flashbacks of what her life was actually like, and including the monologue that she has where she's talking about she wants the kids to escape, or she hopes the kids escape. So I feel like that's how it could have been done, because I feel like that could have been done a lot smoother. and it could have been quicker, because I feel like that the way they did it, it feel like they drew her death out so much, and I was like, I feel like they're pulling a Dragon Ball Z and making her death last forever, when they really could have just like ended or done it right then and there and included the flashback along with the monologue. And to be honest, I really didn't need the shots of the kids wondering where she was, because there were like periods of shots of that at the beginning when you kind of realize that this is her demise. Another thing I didn't like was the music, and not all the music. I definitely enjoyed the intro of this series, but there's a part during the middle of the episode where Ray is basically locked in the room, and this is when Isabella goes out to find Norman and Emma. And when Ray is locked in there, Don realizes something is wrong and runs up there to try and rescue him. The music during this sequence, I feel like, was way too like action-y compared to what was actually going on. I feel like it just really didn't fit. I feel like it was more of like music that could be used in DBZ or a show that's much darker, maybe even like My Hero Academia, just something that has a lot more of like an action-y kind of a sequence. I understand that Don was trying to rescue Ray, and that it was kind of like a whole like trying to rescue him before like Isabella finds Norman and Emma, but I just feel like it could have probably even had like the intro music playing, or just a completely different melody playing that was much darker and a lot more mysterious compared to that music. But overall, I have so far enjoyed this series. I've enjoyed this episode. Like I mentioned, I feel like it was a lot better than the previous one, just because this one moved it kind of much more along. I do wonder what's going to happen in episode 9 and how they're going to overall end this entire season, although I'm sure there's going to be another season after this one. Now, I will say, I know many people have like talked about me reviewing episodes, or like reviewing the show episode by episode. I am normally not an episode reviewer. I usually review shows in their entirety, but because I happened to catch this show when episode 3 was airing, I decided to try and do an episode by episode review. Now, I do plan that once episode 12 comes out to review the entire series as a whole and give you my thoughts on like what I felt could have been better, what I felt they did right, what I felt they may have done wrong. And that is pretty much how I'm probably going to go about this series. Will I always do episode reviews? I don't honestly know. I might. It just depends on if I catch a series that's starting and want to try and do reviews like that. But otherwise, I mostly just review series in their entirety. But hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope it was informative for you guys. I hope you guys go out and watch or start watching The Promised Neverland, because I feel like so many people are really enjoying this series currently. Once again, like always, do not post spoilers in the comments below, because I myself, like I mentioned, have not read the manga. I'm sure several others have not either, and I don't want to be spoiled. I'm sure they don't want to be spoiled. So if I see a spoiler comment, I will automatically delete it. And I'm sorry, it's no shade to you guys. It's no harm, no foul. It's just I don't want to be spoiled. But that's pretty much what I have for you guys. Remember, I come out with new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And I will have a new video out for you guys on Monday. It will be more like a motivational video. I'm probably going to be talking about journaling, because that's something that I'm hugely into right now. Like always, I will leave links down below to all my social media accounts, my Instagram, my Twitter, and of course my blog as well. So check me out on all of those different sites. And like always, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, of course, and click the bell icon so that you turn on post notifications so you know whenever I post a new video. But that's what I have for you guys. And like always, I always tell you guys, stay positive and be nerdy. All right, you guys, bye.